You see, I question the whole of this spiritual business. I question not negatively but positively. I'm not denying that there is nothing beyond this material welfare, beyond this verbal level. But to see whether there is or not, to find out whether there is something beyond all these travails of life, one has to be free from all these content of consciousness. That's what is blocking us from seeing whether there is anything beyond or not. That's working as a barrier, as a fence. So when somebody comes along, so-called experts on this thing, and they give certain techniques, certain methods, and tells one that if you practice this for a certain period of time, you will arrive, you will reach to that promised land. That's what they say. And what happens is that when I follow that person, the methods of that person, that itself becomes the content of my consciousness, and all my actions are from there, from that content. I may have got rid of so many other contents, but that becomes a strong content. And if one says that if the argument is that there is a bigger content, a smaller content, and bigger content is better, that's a different matter altogether. But contents, to me, contents are contents, whether it's a bigger contents or smaller contents, or contents that is created by so-called experts, or contents of a man on the street, whatever it may be, contents are content, right? And that content becomes so strong that all my actions are conditioned by that. And after practicing certain thing for a long time, that I hope that I will arrive somewhere. But we don't seem to realize it's the same thing in the outside world. That if, for example, if you're working somewhere and you were working really well, the bosses may like you and give you bonus or give you holidays and treat you well, right? If you do what that person, what the bosses tells you to do, and that way you can derive some kind of happiness too. It is the same thing, you see. And why should this spiritual, so-called spiritual inward world, the authority there should be worshipped, not outside? Why? Because we have read that these people are exploiting the so-called seekers after truth. We have heard time and again. And at the same time, if we inquire deeply, we know for certain that nobody can make us happy. Happiness is within us. Nobody can make us enlightened. That is one of the greatest hoax, that when somebody promises enlightenment, moksha, liberation, that is the greatest lie that there is. Nobody can make one enlightened. Nobody. Let's take for example Buddha's time. Ananda, who stayed with Buddha 40 years or more, when Buddha died, he wasn't enlightened. Because he was attached to Buddha, he was conditioned by what Buddha was saying, he was trying to protect Buddha all the time, He just became a shadow of Buddha. That's what Buddha says in Apodipo Bhava, be like lamp of yourself. So I think that the important thing is to realize, question, ask. After all, the whole of the Eastern teachings tells you to question, not to believe anything because somebody else has said it. Just question, ask. I mean, if you go very deeply into all these things, you will be shocked to find out that why these things has become so important, something to worship for, something to do, practice. Why? I mean, I'm not saying it should or shouldn't be. I'm not going either extreme. I'm just questioning. You see, because truth can only be found out by questioning, not by following anybody. It's a glorious morning. The sun is rising. The sky is clearing up. There are lots of birds around. Such a beautiful morning. My chooks are playing down there.